Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. Of course, I'm Diego, and today we're going to continue to talk about And Just Like Crap, Season 3, Episode 9. And by the way, I was wrong in my last video where I said the name of this episode was called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. That's not the name of this episode. This episode is called Present Tense. That is the name of this abortion. Present tense, because it's happening right now. That's the name of this episode, okay? And Just Like Crap, Season 3, Episode 9. Okay, so not a lot of things happen in this episode, but only with one storyline. Okay, we only dealt with basically with Carrie and Aiden's relationship. Now, everybody here knows this relationship was doomed. Okay, it's been doomed to fail ever since he showed up again in season 2. It's been doomed to fail for most of us since like 1999, okay, or 2000, when they first started dating each other. Okay, this is ridiculous. They brought him back. Okay, I think the showrunners have a big problem with growing up. Okay, this show is lollipop land for a lot of women and some gay guys out there. Okay, and so it's your do-over. Okay, a lot of you women out there, in the back of your mind, you think about the guy that treated you good back when you were young and pretty and hot. Okay, and guys were hitting on you left and right. You think about that one guy that loved you to death and treated you wonderfully. Okay, was honest and loyal and provided for you, and you fucked him over for a bad boy. Okay, because the bad boy got you all hot and wet. And the nice guy, he was safe and all that, but he just didn't, he didn't get the Niagara Falls going on down there, okay, like the bad boy did, okay? But the problem was that eventually, over the years, okay, you kept dating the bad boys, and eventually, guess what? Okay, you got left behind, okay? Because the bad boys don't really want to settle down with your ass. But now it's too late because you're older, you got kids, you've been divorced several times, you've got kids from different guys and all that kind of stuff. Okay, your life is harder now because now the younger hot girls are going through all that stuff and they think they're better than you. Okay, and you're like, oh yeah, I should warn them, but nah, I'm just gonna let them figure it out for themselves. But that doesn't help your situation, okay? Because here you are, on your own. Okay, yeah, I'm sure you'll fuck a hot guy every once in a while, but none of those guys give two shits about you. They're not going to want to take you out anywhere, okay? If you want to date, your options are limited when it comes to men, okay? Because here's how it works, okay? You've got good-looking guys, okay? And you've got rich guys, all right? And you've got good guys, right? You're never going to get all three, okay? If you're dating a guy, if he is rich and good looking, he is not going to be loyal to you. Do you understand that? If he's rich and good looking, he's not going to be loyal to you. Okay? If he's good looking, okay, and if he's good looking and loyal, he's not going to be rich. And if he's loyal and rich, he's not going to be good looking. So what the fuck? I mean, I'm sorry. I know for some of you women it took decades for you to figure this out, but it's true. Okay, it's true. So a lot of you, not all of you fell for this trap. Okay, some of you ended up with a good guy and you just decided to stay there. Okay, because that was the best option. You know what's out there. You know the kind of men are out there. Okay. There's a lot of not good guys out there, okay? And you know that. So I think a lot of women grow up after a while, okay? But there's a lot of women that don't, okay? And there's a lot of women out there that did end up with the good guy. They'll say, what could have happened? What would have happened if I had never betrayed my boyfriend that I loved so much back when I was 22 or 25? What if I hadn't cheated on him, or if he hadn't caught me cheating on him with that hotter guy? What would have happened if I'd stayed with him when he asked me to marry him? And I had, because that guy was so good to me, and these guys would all treat me like shit. Yeah, my heart bleeds for you. Okay, like a lot of you, think about that. If only I could do it again. I wonder what he's doing now. No guy's treated me that nice in so many years. I forgot what it was like. Oh, well, guess what? The gay showrunners, they solved that problem for you, okay? What did they do? They brought back Aiden. They brought back the nice guy that Carrie fucked over decades ago. They brought him back, okay, as a do-over. Maybe he's the guy she should have ended up with after all, instead of Big, okay? Because, well, I mean, they wrote Big as a soy boy limp dick at the end. But for the first, 3 seasons of Sex and the City, he was an alpha Chad, okay? He acted like a man. He did. I'm the first one to admit it. They did a good job with Big. Okay, he was good looking, he was tall, he was rich, he was smart, he was a little bit mysterious. He always knew the right things to say. He always showed up at the right time. He never imposed on Carrie, and they didn't use him in every episode, so they kept him away just enough to develop a mystery behind him. Okay, so he wasn't always there. Okay, he would just show up when you least expected it, and always at the right time in Carrie's life. You know that? And I loved the way they did that with Big. That was a very good way of treating her love interest. Okay, and if they're going to drag this relationship out for over years, that's a good way to do it. Okay, just get little doses of him, little pieces at a time, not the whole thing. Okay, so they did a good job with Big, but with Aiden, they presented Aiden as the nice guy, the good guy. Okay, and of course he got fucked over. Okay, now that he's older, he's still a nice guy, but he's still naive. Okay, and he's insecure now. So what they did is they took this guy that was a good guy. Okay, you could have had good memories about him, like, oh my God, if only I hadn't fucked over that guy. And that was my point all along with this little speech I'm giving you here. Is a lot of you women have that guy in your life. You think about him every once in a while when you were young and pretty. Oh, if only I hadn't fucked over that guy. I wonder what my life would have been. I know he never would have treated me the way my first and second husband did. He never would have cheated on me the way my third husband did. He never would have fathered another kid, a bastard kid, with his mistress the way my fourth husband did. You see what I mean? A lot of you think that. Oh, if only I could have gotten back with him. I was so in love with him. Why was I so stupid? Why did I have to fuck him over? Okay, well, that's what this show did. It took that example and it gave you peace of mind, because now when you watch the show, because of what they did to Aiden, I mean, bad enough he was a cuck already on Sex and the City. But now they brought him back and they turned him into a pathetic piece of shit. Okay, an insecure, soy boy, limp dick, closeted homosexual. Okay, just like all the men on the show are. All the supposed straight men on this show. Okay? They're all jealous. I mean, they're all insecure. They're all jealous. They all need female validation. They're all passive aggressive. They're all worrywarts. They're all, insecure with themselves, insecure with their bodies, insecure with their feelings. They're all that way, okay? And now they had to do it to Aiden. So what they basically did is they took that good thought, those good memories you had about that guy that you fucked over all those years ago. And now they said, okay, well, we're going to bring that guy back, okay? And we're going to reveal him to be just this worthless, time-wasting, inconsiderate, selfish, jealous, insecure asshole. So now you've ruined it. So now what they're trying to do here is for Carrie is they're trying to make it okay, so Carrie did definitely fuck that guy over. He did. I wonder what would have happened if Carrie had stayed with him and not fucked him over. I wonder what would have happened. Blah, blah, blah. Well, now you know. Okay, they ruined Aiden. So now when you think about Aiden, it's oh, you know what? It's a good thing that she did marry Big, because when Aiden and her got back together after Big died, he was such a piece of shit. He was such a jealous, insecure, made demands on her, was inconsiderate, and his children were pieces of shit too. And oh my God, and he cheated on her, and he was insecure, and he was blah, 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 all that kind of shit. That's what they did. So they ruined the good guy. And they did that on purpose, because you can't have a good guy. You can't. I guarantee they're going to ruin Steve too. They're going to ruin Steve too. Okay. The only reason we haven't seen that yet is because they haven't been showing him at all. I know he's going to show up next week because I saw the trailer for next week's episode, but they're just going to ruin him as well. Okay. For the most part, they treated Steve with a little bit of respect. I mean, I would have given up on the show if Steve hadn't actually. He had that one scene, okay, where he just told Miranda off. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, I thought the show had legs after I saw that in the second season. But of course, then they just shoved Steve off to the side. He forgave her immediately, and now they're cool and all that stuff. And, even their son, Brady, doesn't give a shit that mom left dad, broke dad's heart for a series of ugly women. I mean, this is ridiculous. But that's him. But they're gonna ruin Steve too. And once they've already ruined Harry. Harry's a limp dick soy boy. He does whatever fucking Charlotte tells him to do. He has no testosterone, no self-esteem. He has no authority in his own fucking house. Okay, everyone tells him what to do. He's insecure. He's always asking Charlotte, "Oh my God, Charlotte, what should I do?" Oh. He doesn't even have the confidence to buy Charlotte a fucking birthday gift or whatever. He's got to hire a woman to do it for him. I mean, this is ridiculous bullshit. His kids talk back to him. They don't respect him at all. They make fun of him. This is crap. Okay? And now they ruined the one good guy that was on Sex and the City. The one guy that you couldn't really fault. You didn't have to like him, but he wasn't a piece of shit. Sex and the City was very good at having these handsome guys show up, they fuck a girl on the show, and then 5 minutes before the episode's over, the girl finds something wrong with him, then they get rid of him. Next episode, rinse and repeat. That's what always happened every fucking episode. But with Aiden, it was different because he wasn't an asshole back then. There wasn't anything really wrong with him. He was just too trusting. Okay? He started having sex with Carrie, and he just decided to put a ring on it right away. Literally, when they got back together the second time, he wanted to marry her right tonight. Let's do it tonight, blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? Okay? And he was just too much of a good guy. Of course she's going to fuck him over. Of course she's not going to respect him. I never understood why she wanted to be with him again so hard. Okay? Why did the showrunners put him back on the show with as much aggressiveness as they did just to fucking make him look like shit? Make him look like, oh, it was good that Carrie cheated on him after all because he was a piece of shit. Can you imagine if she had married him? It's a good thing she married Big now. You see what I mean? They're rewriting history to absolve Carrie of any misdeeds that she did. You see what I mean? They made a guy who had no problem getting back together with her after she fucked him over. And then they made him like as unforgiving. Like, what the fuck? Which one do you want? Okay? Because a guy who can't forgive his girlfriend for fucking him over is not a guy who's going to get back with her. You see? And if a straight guy had written these fucking episodes, they would fucking know that. A guy that doesn't forgive his girlfriend for fucking him over is not going to get back with her. This is what happens when gay people try to write straight people. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. All right. Now that I got that off my chest. Moving right along. Where did we leave off last time? Okay. There was some drama here with Lisa's husband, Herbert, another limp dick soy boy, beta male, bald-headed, mangina piece of shit, tubby, insecure motherfucker who has got to ask his wife for positive affirmations for his self-esteem because he doesn't have any self-esteem. He's yelling at everybody in his family for having fattening, high-calorie, high-sugar food in his house, even though it's his fucking house and he should be in charge of the food that they purchase, but he's not, okay? Because the phrase didn't get fat because he gained a pound. Okay, and he's acting like a fucking bitch about it. Okay, and all that kind of stuff. And of course his wife tells him, shut the fuck up and get Ozempic like everybody else. Okay, just get some fucking Ozempic. Which is dangerous, by the way. You don't just fucking take Ozempic. You have to be prescribed Ozempic. And you have to have fucking diabetes. Okay, that's what it was invented for. Okay? It's the side effects are so fucking numerous. It's not fucking healthy to take fucking Ozempic. Okay? Just because you want to fucking lose weight. Do it the fucking right way, okay? You fucking eat less and you move more. That's how you're going to lose weight. God damn. Anyway, so all that's going on, all bullshit. Duncan and Carrie. Duncan, of course, Carrie's downstairs neighbor, or they're going over his chapter 4. Okay, he's working on chapter 4 of a biography on Margaret Thatcher. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, even though he's won awards and written lots of biographies, lots of nonfiction. Okay, he's writing one about a woman, Margaret Thatcher. He doesn't know what he's doing, so he asks Carrie for help. And in return, she asked him for help on her novel that she's probably never going to publish. Okay, about some whore that lives in her fucking building back in the 1840s. Okay, so that's going on. They're helping each other out, and they're treating it like it's a real job, even though it's not. They're basically doing it. I mean, it's a real job for him. Okay, but for her, she's just doing it for fun, so she can spend some time with this guy because he's British. And he smokes a pipe, okay, and it gives her an excuse to cheat on her boyfriend while having an excuse to do it. Oh, but we were working and things just happened. That kind of bullshit that women always do. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, Aiden arrives downstairs while they're working, he wants to start cooking steaks. And he agrees to cook steaks for all three of them. He's not like saying like, hey, listen, just you and me. I want to have dinner tonight with you and me, and I want to cook. No, he's like, hey, you guys got to eat. You know, you're going to be working all night without any food. You know, let me cook some steaks, okay? Take a break and let's have some dinner. All three of us. I got steaks for all three of us. You know. And Carrie's like, no, you know, you and I, we never actually talked about, you know, that we were gonna have dinner tonight. I never promised you I was gonna have dinner with you tonight. Okay, we're working right now, and I don't know how long it's gonna take today. A few hours. I don't really know. But please don't bother me. I appreciate the thought, but you know, I'm actually trying to do something here, and you're bothering me, and I can't stand you being here when I'm trying to fuck this other guy. So why don't you just go back upstairs and shut the fuck up? Okay, she's doing that in her way. Okay, because it's 8:30 p.m. Okay, and he's really trying, like, hey, but you know, I mean, it'll be real quick. You know, we could all just eat real quick. You know, I'll clean up and I'll do all the cook. I'll do everything. You know, you can go right back to work. I just, you know, I just wanted to have dinner. I thought you guys would be hungry. You know, that kind of thing. Okay, she's like, well, I don't know how long it's gonna take. You know, like him and I are working really hard. You know, and I don't even know what his dick looks like yet. Blah, blah. I know there's another guy here that sleeps during the day that's got a much better bonding than him, and I really want to know who that guy is so I can fuck him behind his back too. That way I can cheat on you with Duncan. I can cheat on Duncan with his body double. That's supposed to be sleeping during the day, but instead I'm walking around on my heels and then I'm keeping him awake. That kind of thing, right? So that's going on here. You know, Aiden's willing to wait, but she's like, no, just go ahead and eat without me. Okay, just go ahead because you're behind me right now. Like, I'm trying to get fucked here and you're cock-blocking me. That kind of stuff. All right, so that's all going on. Okay, you know, so Carrie Futures because she's a fucking bitch. Okay, next scene, Anthony. Anthony's having private dinner with Gia. Now, Gia, her name is like some bullshit Italian name, despite the fact that she's from fucking Buffalo, New York. She acts like she's a native of Rome, Italy. Okay, she speaks with a fucking Italian accent. Either she acts like she's this fucking bitch, this fucking, you know, high class fucking Roman bitch or some shit. Okay, when the truth is she's just a fucking gold digger. Oh, she was when she was younger, and she hooked up with a guy that was 30 years older than him, and no wonder his fucking daughters did not like her because they knew exactly what she was doing. She's trying to latch onto his money, and of course she had a kid with him, and that's the gay son Giuseppe, Mr. Big Dick Italian boy, who Anthony is in love with. Okay, they're fucking in love. He was never in love with Stanford, but he's in love with Big Dick fucking Giuseppe. Okay, and now listen to me. Obviously, you know I'm not gay. It's in the fucking title of this episode of all my videos. But seriously, okay, for you gay guys that are watching this, okay, would any of you fuck lollipop land right now, okay? Seriously, okay, you gay guys that are out there watching this, all right? Would like a super good looking gay guy, okay, who's hung to his fucking ankles, swinging past his knees. Okay, a model-looking guy, European guy like Giuseppe is, right? Would a guy like that, seriously, okay, be honest, okay? Would a guy like that fall in love with someone like Anthony? Okay, a guy who looks like a 62-year-old stand-up comedian who colors his hair. Okay, I know he's flamboyant. I know he's full of personality. He never shuts up. He's actually very funny. I love Anthony. I think he's a great character on the show. He's kind of a breath of fresh air after all these fucking lesbo bitches that are on here. These butt ugly lesbo cunts that are on here. Okay, but would a guy like that seriously fall in love with a guy like Anthony? I think the answer is no. I think because we're in lollipop land where everything on the show is bullshit. Okay? Okay, I have plenty of gay friends, okay, and gay friends, gay guys are basically like straight guys in a sense that we're attracted to what we see, okay? We're attracted to what we see. Women are too, but not as much as men are, okay? We're attracted, the first thing we know about a woman is what she looks like. What she looks like, okay, because men are very visual, okay? You know, and gay guys are like that too, okay? Like a guy, when I look at a woman, I'm gonna look at her face, I'm gonna look at her ass, her tits, her legs, everything. Okay, I'm gonna look at everything as fast as I can without her noticing me doing it. Okay, that's how straight guys are, because we want to see the body, we want to see what we're dealing with here. Okay, because we want to, what's it like grabbing that ass? What's it like touching that ass? What's it like, you know, putting your head between those thighs? That's what we're thinking about. Okay, very visual. Okay, and then, yeah, yes, we'll get to know her later. We'll listen to her voice, all that kind of shit. Yeah, we'll get her personality, blah, blah, yeah. She has got 4 brothers. Who gives a shit, okay? But the first thing we look at is what she looks like, okay? That's the first thing we think about is what she looks like, all right? Gay guys that I know are the same way. They look at a guy's ass. They look at a guy's chest, okay? They look at his arms. They look at all that shit first. Okay, later on they'll get to know the guy. Okay, well, does he play the same sports as you? Y'all watch fucking Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, blah, blah, blah. Well, that comes later. The first thing gay guys look at is what does the fucker guy look like? Okay? So in that sense, gay guys and straight guys are the same. We look at what they look like. Okay? So what the fuck does Giuseppe see in Anthony? Okay? Okay? I could understand if Anthony was straight and it was a hot, young, like blonde girl, okay, that was in love with him. I could see that, first of all, because women don't put as much focus on looks as men do. They do, but not as much as men. And him being older, being more established, he owns his own business, okay, she would be a gold digger. She'd be like, oh my God, look at all the shit I can get off this guy. He'll pay my rent. He'll buy me things. He owns his own business. He knows all these rich people. You know, they can get me invited into those social circles. So there's a lot of things that a straight Anthony could do for a straight, young, super hot looking girl. Okay? He could open social doors for her that she wouldn't get otherwise. You see what I mean? So I could see that. Especially if she's young and dumb and naive. Okay? But I can't see what Giuseppe sees in Anthony. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't get it. Anyway, so Anthony is having a private dinner with Gia. That's Giuseppe's mom. Okay, and at his apartment. Okay, and of course he talks all the time. He will not shut up. Okay, she doesn't like. She notices his salt and pepper shakers are these two fucking village people looking gay guys, you know, with the ripped abs and all that shit. And she just thinks it's gross. Okay, because like I said, men, whether you're gay or straight, we're visual. We look. What we see is what turns us on, okay? And so he has like these pictures of sexy gay men on his fucking salt and pepper shakers, and that turns her off, okay? Now, Giuseppe's father, we find out from her that Giuseppe's father was 30 years older than Gia, okay, when they met. Like she was 19 and he was 49, okay? And she ended up becoming a full-time nurse during the prime of her sexual life. So here she is, by the time she's in her 30s, she's having to fucking take care of this guy because he's an old man now. Okay? And she can't be out there riding the cock carousel. I'm sure she did, though. Okay? But not officially. Okay? Because he's too fucking old. You know? She wasted her youth on this old motherfucker. Okay? Because she wanted his money. She wanted his money. And his kids didn't want her to get the money. And that's why they didn't get along. And that's why she became a fucking psychiatrist, okay? So it was to figure out why his fucking daughters, her husband's daughters, did not like her. No fucking shit, that why they didn't like her. It's a fucking gold digger. An American fucking gold digger after their Italian dad's fucking assets. All right. So that's going on. Okay, and you know, so no, at the height of her sexual power, she was stuck being married to a guy that was 30 years older than her. She says, young lover, dying old man is not the scenario I want for my son. And Anthony says, well, what does that have to do with me? You know, I'm 58, 59, 62, and that's my final offer. This isn't a me problem, this is a you problem. Now, I cannot say it as good as Mario Kento. He's a very funny guy. He's very funny. Okay? And Gia says that she raised her son rich. She raised him in wealth. Okay? We have 3 villas. What can Anthony offer him? What can you offer my son other than bread? Because Anthony owns a gay bakery. It's just, I can offer him bread and love. That should be the name of this episode, Bread and Love. Well, Gia automatically drops the fake fucking Italian accent, okay? And her mouth just twists like... Like, no, seriously, look at the scene. Her mouth goes from... It's like, it twists like in this curved frown that I can't even do it. Okay? She says, in an American Buffalo, New York accent, cut the shit. How much for you to get the fuck out of my son's life? And then Anthony's like, you think I don't know what you are? Okay? I grew up in this. You sit there with your fancy airs and your fake Italian accent. You're not Da Teresa Gianna Amato from Rome or Gia Brunetti from Buffalo. You're my manipulative Aunt Michaelina of the Boston bookie with a beard. Now, here's something I don't understand. Why does the gay guy get the only story arc this season? How come it's the gay guy that actually progresses in his life from one point at the beginning of the season to another point by the end? How come it's only him that this is happening to? Okay, they write the gay guy, okay, better than they write the straight people on this show, and there's not very many of them. Okay, like what the fuck is this? Okay, anyway, Gia stands up. She threatens Anthony. Okay, and then she fucking tosses all the food, the risotto that he made for her and him. She tosses it on the floor. Okay, like a crazy fucking cunt. All right, and Anthony's like, someone needs to see a good therapist. Do you know one? And that's a jab at her because she is a therapist. Okay. All right. So that's going on here. Of course, Giuseppe arrives immediately after this happens. While Gia's down there trying to pick up stuff, she picks up a knife and holds it in front of Anthony right when Giuseppe walks in the door. So he thinks that she's attacking him with a knife, or his boyfriend with a knife, whatever. Anyway, she goes up to Giuseppe and she tells him in Italian that she is cutting him off financially until he leaves Anthony and comes back to live in Rome. Okay, she's cutting him off. Okay, no more stipend every month. All right, so that's the end of Anthony's arc for this episode here. All right, now we go back to Carrie. Okay, now Carrie returns upstairs. Okay, she was all night working with Duncan. She goes upstairs. There's steaks on the counter, but they are uncooked. They're raw, so of course they've spoiled by now. Okay, so he didn't even bother to put them back in the freezer after she said she was not going to have dinner with him. Okay, so that's a temper tantrum. Okay, I never remember Aiden being this immature. Okay, they've only recently written him this way because they want to disgrace him. Okay, that way Carrie has no regrets in her life. That way she unlike you women out there, Carrie can actually spend the rest of her life going like, no, it's okay. I'm glad I fucked that guy over because when we got back together, he ended up being a piece of shit. So it's a good thing that I fucked him over way back then, and I don't have to feel bad about it anymore. No. Okay, they needed to get rid of that. Okay, so how do you do that? You bring back Aiden and you make him into a piece of shit. Now that absolves Carrie of all the bullshit that she did in season 2 and season 3 of Sex and the City. You see how that works? I'm pretty sure Sarah Jessica Parker has something to do with it. All right, because she's a producer on the show. Okay, so that's going on here. Carrie goes upstairs. Aiden never cooked the steaks. She goes up into the bedroom. He's there awake, just sitting there pouting. And she gets up there and she apologizes to him. Okay, and she goes up and she cuddles with him. Okay, and he tells her to get the fuck off of him because she smells like fucking smoke. She smells like tobacco. She smells like a pipe. Okay, and he hates fucking nicotine. He hates the smell of tobacco. Okay, he hated it when she smoked. She used to smoke cigarettes. She wasn't just cheating on him with Big when they were together. She was also smoking cigarettes when he wasn't around. Okay, and she lost his dog. Okay, so he tells her to get off of him, that she smells like smoke, and to go take a shower. So she's just like, shouldn't say anything, but she gets up, she leaves, she goes take a shower, and then she walks out of her shower and goes into like a spare bedroom and decides to sleep there. Okay, okay, and to me, I was like, God damn it, Aiden, what the fuck? Why are you picking a fight with her right now? Okay, like I wouldn't be picking a fight with her right now. Okay, clearly, if this was me, first of all, this never would have been me because I never would have gotten back together with a bitch that fucked me over twice in my past. That never would have happened. Okay, but let's say, for example, that I'm that stupid and I did do something like this. Okay, I sure as hell wouldn't have talked to Carrie that way. Okay, I wouldn't have talked to her that way at all. Okay, a lot of this is Carrie's own fault. Carrie should have talked to Aiden about Duncan. I mean, really talk to him about Duncan. Not just, oh yeah, this is Ryder downstairs. Don't talk to him. Don't say hi to him. Okay, him and I have a professional relationship. We work together for long hours of the night. We go out to have dinner together all the time. He cooks for me all the time. I'm down there all the time. But don't ask him any questions. Don't talk to him. You don't need to know anything about him. Blah, blah, blah. I have parties up here and he's always invited and we sip each other's drinks. But don't talk to him. He's none of your business. That kind of thing, okay? Instead of that top conversation, she just told him straight out, there's nothing going on with me and him. Okay, it's a professional relationship. We help each other out. We're both writers. That would have been it. Okay, there's nothing going on. Okay, that is the difference between what happened in 2000 and what's happening right now. In 2000, she just didn't say anything. She never told him, hey, I still hang out with Big, but we don't do anything. He's married now, so like our relationship's over. It was over way before I even met you. So You have nothing to worry about. She didn't do that because that would have been a bold lie. What she did do is she just didn't tell Aiden that she was fucking this other guy. He just assumed they were in a monogamous relationship, and she just never corrected him. Okay? She just never told him. Like, she never like blatantly lied to him. She just didn't tell him that she was fucking another guy behind his back. All right? That's how she did it last time. Okay? And that's what she's doing right now. She's not telling him, and she knows he's jealous. She knows he's insecure. So why the fuck don't you just tell? Okay, you're the one that picked this insecure motherfucker to be your boyfriend, all right? So why don't you fucking accept a little bit of goddamn responsibility and tell the insecure boyfriend that you love, okay, that there's nothing going on. That there's nothing going on. Okay? Because that's not what you did with Big. Okay? That way he can process this and be like, okay, my girl, I'm afraid there is something going on, but my girlfriend swore to me there's nothing going on. That means that if it does turn out that there was something going on, that means that she's a lying piece of shit. And it's a good thing that we're not going to be together anymore. Okay, you see what I mean? That's blatant being an asshole. Okay? So they should have had that conversation. They never did. She never brought, she had no problem talking to Seema about this, but she cannot talk to her own fucking boyfriend about this. This is stupid. Hey, you picked him to be your fucking boyfriend. So what the fuck? All right. Anyway, so that's going on here. She accepts no responsibility for her own fucking actions. Okay. So anyway, so she goes to the bedroom, a spare bedroom. She decides to sleep over there. Aiden follows her in there. Hey, what's going on? Come on, Carrie, come back to the bed. No. I'm going to stay here. He's like, oh, come on, Carrie. She's like, seriously. So she will not budge. Okay. She's not going to come back to bed with him. So he's like, all right. He lets her sleep there. All right. The next day he makes breakfast as she comes down the stairs fully dressed. Okay, like a goddamn fucking, I don't know, a fucking, some sort of fucking chorus girl or some shit, you know, in this fluffy fucking expensive outfit. And she's, of course, she's upset. He's making her breakfast, and he says, like, you know, if you're still mad, you know, then I'll be mad too. You know, he's like, I made breakfast for us, and she's like, oh, you've given me no reason to not be mad. He's like, okay, well, if you're mad, then I'm still mad too, okay? You know, and she's like, I'm gonna go for a walk. Okay. You know, he's like, are you mad at me because I talked to Duncan? Is that why? And she's like, I told you not to talk to him. He tells her that he was on the terrace when Duncan came out of his apartment, you know, and it would have been weird if he hadn't at least said hi to him. Okay. And she's like, no. Why were you on the terrace to begin with? You were on the terrace because you were waiting for him to walk out so that you could have an excuse to talk to him. Because you want to know if there's something going on between him and me. You're worried about me and another man. That's what this is all about. And he's like, oh, really? Well, now I'm going to go for a walk. And she's like, no, I'm going to go for a walk. Okay. Whoa, drama here. Man, my hair keeps getting fucked up. Anyway, what the fuck, okay? So he's like, so go for a fucking walk then, you goddamn whore. You know I hate the fucking smell of smoke. And he fucking throws like a spoon in the kitchen. All right, now, there are so many other ways, okay, that this could have been done, that they could have had this conversation, okay? There's a lot of ways it could have gone, all right? Why was it so important to Carrie that Aiden not meet Duncan, okay? The first way you're going to alleviate your insecure boyfriend is to have them introduce each other. That way he doesn't have to use his imagination to figure out what kind of man this guy is. Okay? Have them meet each other. I mean, like, what the fuck? Okay, but she didn't do that. She did absolutely nothing to ease his insecurity. She did nothing. Nothing. All the women on the show expect their men to be there, sympathetic and understanding and supportive when they're going through fucking crisis. But when a guy's going through a crisis, the women are all like, well, fuck you. That's your problem. I don't have to do anything. You're just not man enough. fuck is that? Anyway, but that's what the show is. Anyway, so Carrie goes to this high-end shoe store where, of course, everybody there knows her, okay, to do some therapy shopping. You know, when she gets upset, she just buys shit, okay? And she can now because she killed her husband and inherited all of his money. So Aiden texts her, let's have lunch at 2 o'clock at the place that we love. It's like some outdoor eatery, okay? So he tells Carrie, she sits down and meets with him. She's still mad at him, but it looks like they're not as mad, okay? And he tells Carrie that he does have trust issues with her and other men. He admits it. And Carrie is upset that Aiden still has trust issues with her after all these years. Okay? She's like, why are you still mad at me for cheating on you? That was like 25 years ago. Why do you not still trust me? That was a long time ago when I fucked you over. Okay? That was a long time ago. Why do you still have to be mad? Why can't you just forgive me? Why do you not trust me? Okay? That's what she's going, okay? Well, you left out the part that you're a fucking slut too, okay? I mean, how many fucking men did you sleep with, okay, besides Big and Aiden? About 650, okay? So you're not exactly the most stable woman out there, all right? So that's going on, okay? And Carrie's upset about that, okay? And I agree. He never should have gotten back with her. I actually agree with Carrie on this. He never should have gotten back with her. No man with any sort of self-respect would have gotten back with Carrie. Not after the shit that she did to him. No guy with any sort of self-respect, okay? That would not be any man's one and only. Remember what I said earlier in this video about how like sometimes Carrie or a woman like Carrie or maybe even you even would daydream about that guy that you fucked over all those years ago, and if only you had treated him better, if only you had ended up with him instead of the jerk off that you ended up with. Okay, remember that? Okay? Well, Aiden, okay, never had that problem. Because the woman he loved ended up being a lying piece of shit. A cheating, lying piece of shit. So he never looked back at Carrie. Okay, a guy that was treated like the way Carrie treated him would never look back at Carrie as, oh, that's the one that got away. If only I'd been a better boyfriend. If only I had loved her more. If only I'd been more considerate and less neglectful of her. She wanted to fuck Big behind my back all those times. No, he's not thinking that. He's happy he got rid of your ass. He's happy you're not in his fucking life anymore. You see what I mean? That's the difference. But not on this show. You know? Anyway, Carrie says, like, I have done nothing. Do you hear yourself? How jealous and suspicious you sound? And Aiden's like, can you fucking blame me? Dude, if you felt this way, why the fuck did you get back with her? Why? So she walks away. And he tries to stop her. He chases after. Of course he does, because he's a limp dick soy boy, beta male piece of shit, like all the men on the show are. Okay? And Carrie's like, how dare you? No, I wonder if this is how they would have wrote it if the guy had cheated. Because you notice that on Sex and the City? Have you noticed that? On every I've watched every episode of Sex. I've reviewed every single episode of Sex and the City. Have you noticed that it never, ever, ever does any of the men ever cheat on the women on Sex and the City? One exception, there was Richard Good. Dick Good. Okay, remember him? James Remar played. That was Samantha's boyfriend. He was the hotel executive. Okay, yes, he cheated on Samantha. That's it. Okay, throughout the entire show, I'm not talking about the movies. Throughout the entire show, no men, none of the boyfriends ever cheated on any of the women. And all the boyfriends were high value men. Okay, and yet you women believe this shit. Even the fucking super good looking fucking Smith Jared, the fucking male model, okay? Even he never cheated on Samantha. You notice that? Yeah, you know what? Realistic, isn't it? No, No, ladies, I'm sorry. Okay, that's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's not. No. Okay, sorry. It's okay? No, it's not realistic. It's not. Okay? The only girl that ever got cheated on, besides Samantha, was Big's wife. All right, move around. Okay. Okay. Sorry, damn, blast from the past. Okay, anyway. So she says, like, yeah, jealousy sound, he's like, can you fucking blame me? And she walks away. She says, how dare you? Okay, and she says, how is it possible that I haven't earned your trust by now? I have done everything to show you how committed I am. I promised you no monogamy. I flirted with other guys. I agreed to arrangements that even you couldn't live up to. I was 100% in. He's like, Aiden's like, wait, you just said was, not are. Now, she corrected him earlier when he said, I have a problem trusting you. And she's like, what do you mean have? Okay, you're supposed to say had. You're not supposed to still have a problem trusting me. Okay, so now he's calling out that she just said, I was, okay, she said, I was 100% in. He's like, wait, we said was. You didn't say am. You said was. Was is past tense. So is it was or is it am? Okay, and she says, was. I can't give you any more than I already have. It wasn't enough. And there's all that family stuff too. I'm sorry, but there is. Okay, your kid's a fucking psycho and hates me. Aiden starts crying. like the bitch that he fucking is. Because it's the men that cry on the show. The women don't cry. Okay, he's like, I really thought we were gonna make it this time. Just like that. And the truth is, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Aiden's gonna cry in the middle of the fucking street in New York. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about him. Okay, he's a fucking cuck. He's the definition of cuck. All right, I hope they paid you very well, John Corbett, to come back. All right, because nobody's gonna hire you as a romantic lead ever fucking again. Okay, because everyone's gonna look at you flirting with a woman in a movie like My Best Friend's Wedding or My Big Fat Greek Wedding or the other fucking shit that you've done, or Serendipity, that other movie where you got cheated on, by Kate Beckinsale. Okay, and all the movies you get cheated on. Okay, what was the one with J-Lo where you were married to J-Lo? She cheated on you with one of her fucking students because she was a teacher. Remember that one? he's the guy that always gets cheated on in every fucking movie he's in. Okay, he's the poster boy for cuck. Okay, and I don't feel sorry because he did this himself. He did this to himself. Okay, so I don't really care. Okay, they have always ruined his character. Okay, no one can make Carrie happy, and that's the truth. Nobody can make Carrie happy. All right, she's incapable of pair bonding. Okay, she's fucked too much dick. Okay, she doesn't know what it's like to be vulnerable with a man and depend on a man. Okay, she doesn't know how to fucking do that. If she did, she forgot how to do it a long time ago. She'll never know how to do it again. Okay, because her body is already set. It's already on autopilot. Okay, she cannot pair bond with anybody. Okay, she'll get with a guy when the butterflies are happening, when he's got her feeling all tingly and wet down there. But the moment she gets bored of them, she's got to move on to another guy, and this is gonna happen for the rest of her fucking life. Okay. And because this show is fiction, she's going to continue to have fucking high-value men well up into her fucking 80s, okay? But you women out there that are in your 60s, yeah, good luck with that one. Good luck trying to have the sex life that these bitches have on this show, okay? It's not realistic. It's not realistic, all right? Okay, she's incapable of pair bonding, okay? No high-value men will ever make her happy. No high-value, she only dates high-value men, but no man will ever make her happy. Okay, it doesn't matter how good looking he is, how charming he is, how funny he is, how good in bed he is. All right, none of that shit fucking matters. No guy will ever make Carrie happy. Carrie is incapable of being happy. Okay? She's incapable of being happy. You see what I mean? She can't even fucking make herself happy. How the fuck is she gonna make anyone else happy, much less herself? You see what I mean? She can't do it. No guy. She'll blame it on a guy, but it doesn't matter. Okay, no matter all the guys that come in and out of her life, she's never going to be fucking happy. She'll find something wrong with them and then get rid of them. That's what always fucking happens. Okay, that the show is based on that premise. It's always going to be that way. Carrie's never going to settle down with a guy. Okay? And why should she? She's a fucking murderer, for Christ's sake. No guy's ever going to fucking make her happy. That's the truth. That's Carrie Bradshaw. Okay, so we hear the sad breakup music. I guess it's one of Taylor Swift's songs. I don't give a shit. As she pulls down, they hug each other in the middle of the street, and then we hear the sad bastard music. She pulls down all the postcards from Virginia that were up on her fridge. Okay, and then she gets all dolled up and goes to a restaurant to meet her fucking girlfriends. They're all happy, kissing each other, and it looks like everything's wonderful, like it's Sex and the City again. They're all at a high-end restaurant, drinking their Cosmos, except for fucking Miranda, of course. You know, socializing, laughing, smiling. Seema's there, Charlotte's there, Miranda's there. They're acting like they're all a bunch of boss bitches. We're all rich boss bitches in nice restaurants where people serve us cocktails, and we just gossip about how great we are, you know. Okay, and then she says, the woman had thought that she and her love were very present, but now realized they were still locked in the past, which meant that they had no future. So that's a quote from her own book. Okay, Carrie laughs with her friends. Okay, the moral of this episode is that husbands, lovers, and family come and go, but girlfriends are forever. And it's true. She cares more about the relationship she has with her girlfriends than she does about her own fucking family, about her own husbands, boyfriends, none of that shit. You know, the women that have kids, they give more of a shit about their girlfriends than they do about their own fucking children, about definitely more than their own fucking husbands. Okay? Okay, and that's just the way it is. That's always been the message of this show. Okay, men suck, children are bad, but if you're gonna end up having them because, you know, biology and shit, don't worry, your girlfriends are more important than your fucking kids. Okay, nothing gets between the girls' night out and the fucking Cosmos. You see what I mean? Okay, friends come first. Carrie would never break up with her friends, ever. Okay, Samantha, I'm including Samantha in that. The only reason Samantha's not there is because, what's her name? What the fuck? I forgot. The reason Samantha's not there, okay, is because Kim Cattrall wants nothing to do with these bitches. That's the only reason she's not there, okay? But if this show was realistic, Carrie never would have broken up with Samantha. That's bullshit. And they never explained it either. Okay, Carrie, all the girls would never break up with each other. They'll break up with guys. They'll break up with their kids. They'll break up with their bosses. They will not break up with each other. Okay? You know, she would never break up with her friends, no matter what they do, but she will break up with her boyfriends easily. The men are disposable. The girlfriends are not. Because we all know how realistic that is, right, ladies? Your girlfriends are always going to fucking do it for you more than any man ever could, right? Yeah, right. And if you believe that, I got a bridge I want to fucking sell you. Okay, these women have nothing to offer men. And that's the truth. They have nothing to offer men. So what does it fucking matter? Okay, I'm done reviewing this episode. I'll be back next week to continue my review of this abortion of a show. I thank you very much for watching this long. I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.